All right. Okay, y'all. I was trying to get John in here. I don't know if anybody else could ping him. I know he's struggling with his eyes, but if he can't make it, it's also fine. We do have Sherry from Keon Works here. We have Rejoice from Melanated Music Group over here, and we have Manis here from Sankofa and Tent, and myself, Black Roots Radio 202.1. And we're here to discuss today empowerment, and also we're going to get a little bit into a lot into accountability and holding our melanated people accountable for what we say, what we do, how we act, all of those things. And so we're going to get a little feedback from each organization today on accountability. That is the goal of the day, on what they would recommend, what they would like to see more in the community. If you have a person that you feel should be held accountable, if that person is in the space, I would recommend, using that time to hold them accountable. We are now live on YouTube with the Melanated Power conversation. And we definitely, like I said, have Sherry in the room. We have Rejoice and we have Manis here to get the conversation started. So I'm going to go ahead and pass the mic over to Manis so that he can open up with the Melanin Power conversation. Mic check, 1 2 1 2 3. Manis, Mansa Musa, are you in the building? Sherry, can we do a mic check? Can we do a quick mic check? If you guys need more time, let me know, and then I can, we can plan for that.
I'm here.
I'm here, Rejoice. Memoirs of a Shy Girl.
Headphones, because it's not working.
Can you hear?
Okay.
We can hear
Yeah,
you
this
better now.
headphone, man. Yeah, I'm trying to get it squared away here because I'm not home. Okay, Sherry, you want to go in? Hello?
I don't know. His mic went out. I didn't hear anything.
He was saying, Sherry, if you
No,
would
I
like
can hear
to
you.
go ahead and take the lead and start.
Oh, okay. So what's the question? The first question?
Okay. Of course, I know it's accountability, right? Unless it's been changed. Or your definition of what you think, your definition of accountability.
The
Okay.
question was, what does accountability mean for you? How would you like to see, or if you have someone or a group that you like to hold accountable for, maybe something you've seen? I know that you've asked questions before about Sankofa intent in regards to what is the status of Sankofa intent. So, I mean, that's just to give you a little buzz on basically where we're going with this. Some of those questions that we have out in the streets of fan base and outside of fan base, we can go ahead and, bring that to fruition today and make those accountable, or, just get the conversation started on how we can resolve some of these issues moving forward, and how we can bring the melanated people here on fan base together, at least for the conversation of accountability and also empowerment. That's kind of where we're going with it.
Oh, okay. So I mean, accountability to me just looks like and I go back to this all the time. About maybe 6, 7 months ago, Rejoice started hosting rooms that said, "Become the change you want to see." I think that was about 6 months ago, right? Maybe around that time, Joyce. And And every time I would see that, I thought to myself, exactly. So even on the app, I decided to become the change I wanted to see. And so I started doing my Saturday rooms, something of positivity, something more, something out of the regular conversations that were already being had. And so yeah, I think that accountability just looks like a shift. And first, it starts with you, right? The change starts with you. And not that I wasn't already showing up, having conversations like that, but yeah, I started hosting my own rooms. Um, but as far as other people are concerned, to be honest, I only had the question of, what maybe Sankofa was doing because I didn't know. But it wasn't like he don't have the but other people don't have to be accountable to anybody. Um, to be honest. Um, we have to be accountable for ourselves, and you show up, and it depends on how you show up, because I believe that accountability is also an action, right? And that's why they have accountability partners, because accountability partners will hold you to and make sure, check up on, support you, right? So even when you're having accountability, it's also, you know, maybe people need to ask for more support. Maybe people in that to be held accountable. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I definitely think that accountability first starts with self.
Okay, happy to go next. When we talk about accountability, for me, it be holding your elected officials accountable, hold your the folks in education accountable. Now, starting out with the elected officials, is holding them accountable, where it be on the national, state, or local level, because we pay them to provide a service. So when I think about accountability, that's the way I look at it. Now, when it comes to accountability of a business, uh, that's we really don't have anything to do with me unless I am spending my money and buying their products. But when it comes to me, it's more civic. Yeah, when it comes to accountability, my focus is on civic. Uh, when it comes to accountability, and when it comes to accountability, I don't see melanated leaders engage. Now they'll show up uh, because I can speak on this level here because this is what I do: is civil rights, economic civil rights. Um, most melanated leadership, you know what I'm saying? Most they're gonna show up until it's time for election when they supposed to be because of the job description. I put it that way. Their job description, they supposed to be advocating for the community, not the other way around. And that's not taking place in the melanated community. They seem to be so selfish where they're only concerned about themselves and staying in office. And I'm holding, when it comes to accountability, I hold the melanated community for allowing them, those who vote, for not holding them accountable because it's appalling. And I can just say right where I am here, where I'm back and forth between Atlanta and Jacksonville, but I say Jacksonville here. The melanated leadership don't show up. I'm talking about uh, a civic, I'm talking about school board. Yes, they don't show up, including the faith base, because the faith base is taking money from the community and don't give anything back. And I'm not talking about all of them. I say less than 5% of them engage in the community because there's no way possible. There's no way possible with the amount of money we spend, the number of people, melanated people, I think over 50 million on record, and we have nothing to show for it since post civil rights. How can that be? Thank you.
Okay, Manis. Thank you, Manis. So it sounds like you're just suggesting that the people in your community, for the most part, like you said, just do more civic, be more civically engaged. Um, do you have any resources for the people or links that you would like to send out or, to share for those that may not know what they need to do in their community?
Well, I have a different approach. Uh, First of all, when I was talking, when I first started talking about accountability, I'm totally elected official, mainly melanated. But you see, same thing around the country. But I'm talking about melanated. I'm talking about leadership, accountability. Yes, that's not taking place, and it's appalling that we have so many folks out here with degrees in work, because most melanated people since post civil rights work for the government, and they don't say nothing, not even much in their community. You hear, I can use fan base for example. Look at the conversation that take place on fan base when it comes to civic engagement. Nobody don't really talk about that. Yes, and that's appalling, especially with the fact that our people, our ancestors, gave their life for this freedom, for us to be able to go and do whatever we want to do. But us in what I'm saying, us up in age here are not civic engaged. And then we go and vote. When we vote, we don't have a demand, where it be on the local level, state level, or the federal level. It's appalling. And like I say, I deal with civil rights, and plus I'm a master researcher. It's appalling with the amount of money, which is right now we close to $2 trillion, and we have nothing to show with. And people can say all they want about we are doing better. Well, that's not a true fact, because I got data. I got the data. That's yes.
Okay.
We are not doing nothing to change our condition.
I agree. And so I just like to say this, when I came onto the app, I was approached by by several of the groups that had already gotten started on this app. Just to name a few, Sankofa Intent. It was also, whew, gosh, um,
So, go on.
Royals United. There was also the co-op, um, and it was another one. It was another music. I can't think of the name of it right now, but there were several groups that were already formulated on the app, and the one that stuck out the most to me was the Sankofa Intent. Um, Rooms and talks and the build starting out. So, my question to Royals, I mean, to not Royals, but Sankofa Intent is the intent still the same as it was a year and a half ago? That's question number one. But also, when I came in, you talked more about like investments in property to get our people, to get more into entrepreneurship and building a community through fan base, outside of fan base, building headquarters and things like that. So are we still headed toward that goal with the Sankofa Intent, or has something changed with Sankofa Intent?
The direction of Sankofa has changed, but we are still focused. Number one is we are concerned about the melanated community, not only in the United States but around the world. Number two, with Sankofa here, we after talking with people and confirming that we are so discombobulated as a people. There's no need to take them anywhere further down the road when they are confused. Our people, oh, and I don't care what nobody say, we are confused because there's no way possible. So when uh, I've been on what 15 months on uh, fan base, and once we saw what was taking place here, we changed the direction. We backed away from fan base. We still on fan base, but we backed away and took most of our intellectual capital into the back office. The reason for that, because it was so much chaos, it reminded me of Moses coming from the mountaintop. That's what the vision that I see all the time. And that's what I see with my community today. And then we come, Sankofa come in with the four pillars. And what the number one pillar? Rebuilding the family. See, you don't need us talking about money. And one thing good about it, the people that's in leadership in Sankofa, we all have money. Yeah, personal money. So that wasn't an issue with us. That's why we didn't talk about money because there was no need to talk to people when we are discombobulated and we need to rebuild our family infrastructure before we go into the other three pillars, which is Afrocentric education, the arts, history, and STEM
So what
or
are you
STEAM
currently
technology.
doing to rebuild it?
Absolutely. Well, we build that from the African American Economic Recovery Think Tank. Anybody can pull it up. I try to put that information out there all the time to see what we are doing. But still, Sankofa is a business. It's not really our responsibility to save our people. Now, understand what I'm saying. We are business here, Sankofa here. But our goal is to provide information, and we've been providing information because we all over the social media. Well, we are global when it comes to information. Uh, when it comes to Sankofa, but we are not putting it all our information out until we tie down our trademark and a few other in-house things because we already have people around the world tapping into what we are doing and trying to take ownership. So we had to back a little bit. But the most important thing at this present time with Sankofa intent is us to get a memorandum of understanding. I'm talking about those who are concerned about changing our paradigm. We need to get a memorandum of understanding because right now we are just all over the place and we're more concerned about our individual issues than our collective. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. And overall, like, what are the future goals from here? Do you have anything planned, before the end of the year that you'd like to share? What should we look forward to in the future, in the near future, coming from Sankofa Intent?
Well, at the present time, until we show them something different, we want some respect. Because when I come on fan base, when we come on fan base, people they be for some reason, which is uh doesn't mean anything to me, but they attack because they're in so much pain that it's attack, that it's attack. What that's all about? Instead of here and I, and especially when we broke down the four pillars, who could fight against that? Name one melanated people that can fight against that.
Like,
Rebuilding the family
so
infrastructure.
moving forward, like, what would you say would be the solution? Because right now we're not having those issues in this room. This is a conversation geared towards moving forward. Moving forward, like, what would you like to see happen on fan base in regards to Sankofa Intent? What type of support would you recommend that you get from fan base for Sankofa Intent?
At the present time, we don't want no support from fan base. It's, and the reason for that, we we don't want to fight with our people. I'm not interested. I'm not gonna fight on two fronts. Fight with my people and fight with them other folks out there. For example, I'm gonna give you a quick example here. why do our people always hollering out white supremacists? Why we do that? Instead of just saying the other people or give them some other thing. Because see, education teach you that if you keep saying verbiage, you become that verbiage. And you hear our people always talking about white supremacy, as if they are superior. So for I even talk about, well, for Sankofa talk about anything else, we need to get an understanding. And that's where I'm at. So I'm not interested in doing zero right now until we get an understanding. I am not talking about all of us. I'm talking about those who are working together. And most of the time, it's just a few people. Yes. Most time, less than 10 people. But if those 10 stay together, the rest of them will follow. More will follow. So right now, the most important thing, and with me being in leadership with Sankofa, is the memoranda of understanding. Thank you.
Thank you. So let me ask you, with the melanated power conversations moving forward, what would you like to see come out of these continued conversations? I think they've gone well so far. We're also sharing it on multiple social media, so we are getting engagements on the conversations. But I'd like to know where would you like to see the conversations held, being held here? Where would you like to see it go from here? What's next?
No, it's the same thing because we can be followed. We on LinkedIn. We on numerous social media. The think tank, the African American Economic Recovery Think Tank. But at the present time, we would not be able to move forward to those in leadership in our community get a memorandum of understanding. That means that we'll know exactly what direction we're going in and have a time limit, and we measure what we're doing instead of just being all over the darn place and changing every week. We talking about a different conversation. See, that's why Sankofa, we had 4 pillars, and we talked about the 4 pillars for a year, and we didn't change not once. We didn't talk about nothing else but those 4 pillars. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for sharing a little more understanding, giving us more understanding on what the intent is for Sankofa. I appreciate that. I'm gonna move on to Keon Works, Sherry, and yeah, if Sherry can tell us a little bit about what it is that you do and for the community, outside the community, and what your goals are for fan base. What would you like to see happen here? And what would you like to see come out of these conversations?
Well, I'd like to see more productive conversation um, around solutions and or suggestions. So even if the problem is discussed or we bring up the issue, that we also make sure that we bring the suggestion, the hope, right? Bring back the let's end it on a good note, right? And stop having these open-ended conversations that really don't lead to anything. I would definitely like to see them be more productive. Um, I would like to see more collaboration amongst everybody on the app, and to see how we can be what we're talking about. We talk about our community and how they're not showing up and how they're not doing this, and the leaders are not doing certain things. Even the church, right? It's been brought up numerous amounts of times. So, well, if that's what you are noticing out there, then how about we do something different here, right? How about we do something different, like Joyce's title says, and be the change you want to see, you know? Show up in that fashion so that we can stop having the conversation about what we're not doing, and then be open to that other people don't share that same experience or excuse me, that same experience. And in my world, yes, I'm definitely with Manis. We have definitely got to hold these elected officials accountable. He knows that I'm heavily involved civically. Civic being and locally and civically engaged is my bread and butter. That is my heartbeat, right? Um, so I actually just left supporting someone, at their church. I visited their church today as they were preaching, and I wanted to be supportive, right? That's a way of supporting your community. Are you showing up for other people? But as far as Keom is concerned, I'm going to continue with doing what I've always done. Um, One of the things that I fight hard for is public safety, and so you'll always hear me in conversations around public safety, and that includes our fire departments, staffing of the fire departments. I will include any conversations and funding around um, public health. Um, that means the outreach in public health, preventative health care. You'll always see me mental health and anything in that arena, when it comes to our community, I'm there, right? Like I want to see it through when they are saying that we're going to get these community gardens. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, I'm gonna hold you to it, right? And so I can say that a lot of our elected officials really follow through on most of the things that they present to us. Um, there are a few, I ain't gonna lie, that I ain't too happy with. But I don't even think they're up for the running for the next. Yeah, I don't even think they're up for the running. But yeah, hold them accountable. Get them out there. So Keon Works will always be the voice for the voiceless. Right, I always go and speak for the community. Um, because I'm out in community, I listen. I want to hear what people are saying so that I can be able to go back to the meetings, to the conversations, and be the voice for the people who can't be there, won't show, don't know how to show. I want to. I'm able to do that. So that's just one tag of Keon Works, because Keon Works wears many, and God said that we are to wear. He gives us several different gifts, and so that's just one of them.
Thank you, Sherry. Also, is it possible for you to shed some light on your roles here on Fanbase? What it is that you, if you had to big yourself up and pat yourself on the back, what would you say, your biggest flex would be on Fanbase? What have you done to provide anything here on Fanbase or and outside of Fanbase? On your own, Go ahead. Let me hush.
That's interesting because I don't think that I've done much on fan base outside of just showing up. I add value to certain conversations, um, but not, I don't get involved in a lot of different rooms and a lot of different groups. I try to keep myself sheltered from um, some drama, so I don't um, go across the lines much. I can definitely say I get comfortable with a group of people, and I will definitely stay right there versus going in, with other people. But that's a good question because I don't think that I've done much on the app. It was never my intention to be honest. I thought, um, when it comes to Keon, this, oh, how do I say it? I have to think about that, how to word it, because I don't want to word it and it sound mean. Um, Now, when it comes to adding productive conversation, I think that I do that. Yeah, I think that I do add, some good value here and there, but people try you. And I think that when you allow yourself to become too comfortable with people, and I think that people will get comfortable with you, and people feel like sometimes they can be disrespectful towards you. Um, so it's actually taught me to not bring as much as I would like to bring to the app, to be honest. Um, yeah, I can say that. So I don't know how much I've brought to it, but I can definitely say what I've learned, what I'm not bringing to it. Because my brand means everything to me. Um, this is a life work. This isn't just when I'm on an app or when I show up in community. This is my life. You know, Kiam Works is me. I am Kiam Works, right? And so I definitely have to protect me, have to protect the brand, um, and what the brand means for the community that I impact. For those that do wear my clothing branded across their chests, for the people that wear, some of the apparel that they've purchased from me, you know, when they get it, they literally get a card and it tells them Kiom Works stands for keeping each other motivated works, right? And so every time you go out, I want you to show up in that fashion. So, yeah, I can't say that I've done that much. And because people have definitely taught me here that you have to protect yourself, and you have to protect your brand. So yeah, that's my input.
What was your goal coming onto the app? Was it just for leisure? You just wanted to check it out, or were you an investor? What was your goals for the app coming?
It was definitely for leisure and conversation. Um, I thought about being an investor, um, but after I got over here, a couple rounds in, a couple rounds in, um, like I said, I don't want to say it and being mean. I just felt like to invest in the people more than to invest in the app, and that's what I've done. Right? I give out hearts. I pay. Yeah, I don't mind giving out hearts. You know what I'm saying? Like I've probably purchased more hearts than people have invested. Oh, okay. Let's to be honest. You know what I mean? So I've definitely invested. I've just done investing differently, but it was very laid back for me to come here. Um, and that's why I remain here. I have met some amazing people that I continue to work with outside of the app. Change the narrative, leading ladies with Dr. UR. Um, I've met up with a lot of people in person. And several people have even come to support me at my events. Thank you, Queen Michelle and J Baby, for coming even supporting me in a recent event that I had. Right, where I hosted an awards gala, well, dinner, I'll call it an awards dinner for a nonprofit organization that I volunteer with every weekend to feed the homeless and provide resources. So, thank y'all for coming to that.
You're
But
welcome.
yeah,
You're welcome. I
that's
had a
that's it. I
beautiful
just came for
time.
leisure and fun. Yeah.
Yeah, that was great. That was very well put together, very well organized. I had the blessings to see the behind the scenes and the front scenes. And it was a lot of work put into it, a lot of blood and sweat and tears put into it, actually. And you did a great job with it. So keep doing what you're doing. Moving forward, I would like to know, like, what would you say at this point? Because I'm keeping it social media because this is where we all met together and we've done meetups and we've kind of become a family on the app here. So like moving forward, like what do you see yourself doing on Fanbase? What's next for you here on Fanbase?
um, I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I don't know. Um, yeah, I don't know. I'm getting a little tired of the disrespect um, that I've encountered, and to be honest, I don't know how much I'll be on the app. It's easy for me to post things, so I'll probably keep up my posting. And but as far as like social audio, I'll still be here in certain spaces, my favorite spaces. Of course, I'll be at karaoke. Blah 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 blah. But yeah, to be honest, Queen, I apologize because I just want to be honest and transparent in answering the question. I know that we are talking about collaborating, and I know we are talking to do more together so that we can continue to build. But you know how that song goes that when a woman is fed up, there's nothing you can do about it. And so I'm finding myself in that space, right? Um, because the disrespect has just become too much. And so, yeah, I have to protect me first and brand second. And so, not sure, but yeah, I'll be here and there in my favorite spaces.
I know you will. I know you're not going anywhere, but I definitely appreciate you sharing that with us. Going to move on a little bit to Rejoice. We have Rejoice, who is with onboarding here on Fanbase, and she's also a part of the Melanated Music Group here on Fanbase. So, wanted to go ahead and let Joyce chime in and let us know a little bit about a lot about what she does, because she does a lot. So does Sherry. I don't know why Sherry, but we'll get back to that at another time. Another melanated conversation. But we'll go ahead and move on to Joyce. And Joyce, go ahead and, I know you got a lot to say, so I'm a hush because I'm long winded.
Mic check. I had to close some of my apps because sometimes, when you have so many of them open, your audio is messed up. But I want to say I'm glad to be in the room. Thanks for having me. I've listened to Manus and I've listened to Sherry and I've listened to you, Queen. And for me, I kind of pivoted. I'm concentrating more on Memoirs of a Shy Girl. And what I'm learning from being on Fanbase is, like Sherry had said, you definitely have to be that change and you can't stress about where everyone else is doing or if they're not supporting you. That's not even important. If you're the change that you want to see, then you make that space for yourself. So when I've done that, I enjoy fan base. I've met some amazing, dope individuals. And because I'm a storyteller and I'm a writer, I'm now getting back into my writing. So I'm on Substack, I'm on LinkedIn. Hopefully, you guys are on there so that you can follow along with the newsletter. LinkedIn has some amazing tools to use to be able to tell your story and other people that you feel are valuable that don't get shouted out enough. So I have put out a newsletter on LinkedIn. It's Who is Going to Move Fanbase Forward. And that's the title of the newsletter. And within that, I've actually done articles about Sack Black, Karaoke Barbecue. I've done Tall Boy. He's amazing with his tech. I mean, I've actually shouted out a lot of people in this newsletter. So when you ever get a chance, check it out. I feel we don't write enough. I've always stressed the fact that if you love to write, this is your time. We have so many cool tools out there to where you can shine. Just writing again. We just don't do it enough. And so I found when I've been back in my writing, I really don't have much time to talk. So I appreciate these spaces where I can actually talk and then you can actually replay it. I'm getting tired of wasting time talking about things, saying all of these things, but not executing things. I think we should execute more. So I appreciate you, Queen, for actually giving us a